but my location slightly moved a little bit. I'm precisely in Abia State, in a home of a woman who I want to describe as the totality of what womanhood is all about. She's not just enterprising, industrious. She is a mother, a deaconess, a Paul Harry Fellow. I'll skip the rest of it, but join me as I take my walk inside and get to usher in my guest for today. Come along. I don't think in gender boxes at all. I just get on with it.
A man that would dare to ask the wife, who do you think you are? That is a real man.
In fact, our husbands are our firstborns. The husband needs more attention than even the children.
It's not only about work, it's not only about family. They need to take the time to look after themselves, and we don't do that.
They took my money, I paid every fees. I never asked to be hoisted as a governor. I wanted to be allowed to go out there and contest for the position of governorship candidate first.
There's nothing greater than looking back and seeing that while you were aspiring, you were able to inspire others.
Empower to women.
Yes.
We need to have more women, multitaskers around Nigeria to get Nigeria working.
Definitely. But it is the lodge, the house, the home of the First Lady in Abia State, the mother of a state. Join me as I graciously and happily and quite humbly welcome the First Lady of Abia State in the person of Mrs. Nkechi Ikpeazu, wife of the governor of Abia State, and of course the founder of one great foundation that has helped a lot of people within this state and environment. Thank you for having me in your house. I was going to say thank you for coming to my studio, but for the next 25 minutes, this is my studio, so I'll still say thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah.
All right. We all knew you, long ago before you became the First Lady. And for me, remembering who you were and who you are now, not much has actually changed. But let me throw you back to 2015, or even a little beyond that, when the campaign was going on. When your husband, decided to run, knowing you're a very quiet, unassuming, but very active person, how did you take it?
Yeah. Thank you. Welcome to my home.
Thank you.
Yeah. That was, I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to say. But there's nothing I could have done other than to support him and pray for him so that he can succeed.
Somebody kickstarted this journey for me. A lady who called to ask me to particularly thank you for what you did for our family with your foundation, the Vicar Hope Foundation. That's a foundation that saves a lot of people with the sickle cell sickness. Tell us, how did this come about? What led to the birth of this charity act in you?
Actually, I had a very, very close relation that's secular. So watching him grow, it touched me. And when I came into this position, I decided to do something to help our people as regards the Vicar Hope Foundation. The Vicar Hope Foundation, we have had two offices, one in Aba, one in Omaya. Just a clinic for the patients. And the more thing, because it doesn't have a cure, but what we do is we are trying what we can do to break the cycle, that's by enlightening people, making them aware of their genotypes, so that they know that before they get married.
What else does the clinic do for people? Beyond just the education, do they provide any kind of support?
Yeah, We have the equipment, we ask them to come and test for their genotype. Yes. And then from time to time, we have counseling session. They will come with their guidance so that we talk to them, because a sickle cell person, the next person to him or her is very important to help, especially the younger ones. So we bring experts to speak to them about the disease and how to manage it.
You know, a lot of times people are said to be told to do something and they don't get to eventually get to do it and do it well. Are people actually responding to the counseling you give? Or are they still claiming that love comes first, not genotype?
That's what we have been telling them, that the genotype comes first, then before love. We have been telling our people like that because we go to the rural areas to talk to them. You know, it's very rampant there. Most of them are very ignorant. They don't know what that is. So we try as much as possible to go and speak to them. And I think some people, at times they come on their own to come and test. Even though we have not achieved actually what we wanted to do, we only have one clinic in Aba, one clinic in Mayanje. We have 17 local government areas. So we are trying to see how we can get the services closer to the people in the rural areas so that more people will be aware of how to do it and what to do.
You know, I want to know what gave birth to it. Is it because your mother-in-law is a medical person?
No, I'm surrounded by medical people. Even my mother was a nurse.
Okay.
I'm surrounded by, but when you get to the villages, you see the problem, they have a lot of health problems. And I just discovered that women, we don't just go for checkup, just medical checkup like advanced countries. Unless when we are sick and very, very sick, then we start going to hospital. So that's why we are doing cancer awareness. In fact, the government have just helped us to acquire the mammogram. It's in my clinic at the sickle cell center. So it's just to help the women. At times when we have programs, we start with health. We check their BP, we check those that we have diabetes. So when you see there's plenty of them, so we now started to see this is the problem of our people, especially for women from the rural areas. That's why we started the awareness on health, diabetes, cancer, and so on.
Now, another major concern of yours is the plight of the widows. And a lot has been mentioned around that domain with what you're doing for them. You want to share that with us? Okay.
As for one of the things I do in Vicar Hope is about building housing for the widows. Actually, by now we are counting about 59. There are other ones, they are still in the process of doing that. When we identify the widows, if you go to the villages, we go there, or if anybody reports, we go and see. And actually, when you see it, you know that they actually need a roof over their heads.
That's what I was going to ask, because we are very good actors. We can act to collect.
We go there, we go to the villages and we see it. You just see the children, you see the parents, you see their houses. Some of them will just use the banners or something and to cover up their houses. When we get money, we will go there to build for them. We have had a lot of assistance from the governor and some individuals in the state. They have been actually helpful. So when we build for them, if they don't have anything to do, we can empower them to start trading or whatever they want to do, if they want to learn skills. Actually, in Vicar Hope too, we do skill acquisition, and we do it local government by local government. We take 50 from each local government, and we do 2 local governments at a time. That means we in 3 months, we train about 100 people from 2 local governments. At the end of the training, we give them something to start off. And then also, There are some women in the village, they can't go to start learning now, but they can sell, they can go to the local markets. So we also go there, we give them little things to start off in trading. That's what we do. And then the government has also helped us to build markets, local markets in the villages. So when we
saw one as I was passing,
okay,
and it was
so
really full.
When we go there, we just select some of those very, very indigent people, then we give them something. At times we buy the material and give them, we don't give them money. So that they just go there and start trading.
Because giving them money, they could just use it, and meanwhile, if you give them produce, they begin to do it. Now, the Skill Acquisition Center for the Vika Hope, is it only for widows or is it open to?
No, the skill acquisition, we are moving it. We don't have a stationary center.
Okay.
We go from local. When we get to the local government, that one is mixed up.
Okay.
We have the women, we have men, we have youths.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but the one for the markets, the table threads. That one, we give it to the women in the rural areas.
Of course, it said that if you're able to train a woman, you train a nation. If you're able to feed a woman, you feed the entire family. The men, I'm not saying, please don't hold it against me. I'm not saying men are not good.
Yes.
But a lot of times, a mother will not eat until her children have actually eaten.
Yes.
Now, I'm going back to your personal life. The life of you have two lives now. The life of the Deacon Mrs. Nkechi Ikbazu, it's a different one, and the life of the First Lady. I know it comes with a lot of responsibilities. How do you cope with it, and how do you begin not to lose yourself, with one against the other?
It's just we are holding tight to God and praying that He will help me to do the two. From the home, I have to take care of my children, I have to take care of my husband, I have to make the home comfortable for him when he comes back from the tedious work he's doing. We go on like that. We do domestic work.
You still find time to go to the kitchen?
Why not? And for the office, immediately you come in, you know that it has a date. You know that you have a date
to leave.
Just sometime, then you leave, another person will come. So there's you try to be yourself, because after the tenure, you go back to where you are coming from.
All right, it's beautiful to know, because a lot of times we lose sight of who we are, because at the end of the day we didn't really compromise the fact that every position except the position of life, even life itself, has expiration dates. Now, you have worked with women closely, especially the indigent women. Coming here, I tried to sample opinion. Some people actually said that the men are the reasons why the women are not progressing well. I don't know what your take is on that. What is that is stopping our women from coming out and feigning for themselves, supporting their families properly?
Well, I think the first one is the culture.
Culture.
Okay. The culture, because they believe that the women, our own, is just inside the kitchen or in the house, but it's not so. Because we have seen a lot of women who are doing it outside, and so anyway. Let me, if it's about politics, if you are talking from the angle of politics, there are so many factors that face the women there. So. And at times, some women will not even support their fellow women.
Really?
Yes.
As a pull her down syndrome?
Yes,
Okay.
we don't support it. I remember the last time we were doing the local government election. Some women, they will come, you will be encouraging them, just go out, take the form from the chairman. And some women will say, no, don't go, be the deputy, that type of thing. But we continue to enlighten them, to talk to them that they can also do it. And the ones we had, they did very well. They performed well. But it's not the physical strength that you are going to use to do it. It's the intellect and the everything that you are going to use to perform the task.
All right. I know that you're sports inclined. As a matter of fact, you have been able to do a whole lot in the area of sports. You actually have received award as a patron of a certain sports group. And I know that you sponsor the Nkechi Ikwazu annual National Open Para Badminton Champions. That's quite commendable. Were you a sports girl in secondary school?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Did you
I'm a fast runner.
Fast runner?
Yes.
I would like to roll back a little bit and see what it was like.
I do high jump and I do the 100 meters where we're in secondary school. Yes.
I see the gym house. Are you still using it?
Yes.
Okay. So how do you relax generally?
I do gym when I sit back in my house, listen to music. I can sew.
That's good.
I'm a good tailor. You can try me.
Interesting.
Yes.
So those of you who are watching right now, Christmas is around the corner, and I'm going to get my beautiful clothes and send it to the First Lady of Abia State. She has to do me a costume that I'll wear on Christmas Day. And when I wear it, I'm going to stand and tell you, this is it. All right, it's so lovely knowing that being who you are, it didn't take away the woman in you, because no matter what we are, we're made to be that help. And when I tell people that help is not just like pushing somebody around, somebody who is your help is actually your strength. So, which is why we may be called the weaker sex, but we remain the strength of the men. As a parting word, I'd want to have you share your advice to women who are apparently watching you now, especially the women of Abia State who are your children at the moment.
Okay. I always tell the women that nobody should stay idle. Learn a trade. Even if you are a civil servant or you're a doctor, learn a trade that you can be using in your home. It will help. My mother-in-law was a nurse, but my husband told me that she's the one that made her the sweater that she used to when he was little.
That's like coat of many colors.
So I'm advising them to come out. Let them come out. Let them hear us. At least let us complain of those things they don't allow us to do. So let's start from somewhere. So I'm encouraging them to come out, even if it's in politics, in their homes. Let us come out and stand as women. At least let us support one another in whatever we are going to do.
All right, that's a good one. How would you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered by this service I've rendered to the people in this my position. If you see the joy, the happiness on the faces of those women you build houses for, you will be fulfilled. So that's what I want to be remembered for the services I've rendered to the very poor, indigent people in our state.
That's lovely. That's lovely. And I pray that God continue to, give you the grace to do more. And even when you're done with your tenure, you're not going to cease, because the cash will continue to flow. Amen. For you to do more for people. And on a very naughty note, I want to know what I will do to annoy you, because I've never seen you angry.
How do I put it? When you're working with women, there are a lot of things. Some people will come to make you to hate the other. Would I call it gossip? I hate it.
Something close like
yes,
that.
I hate it. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Thank you very much, Mommy Abia. and Mrs. Nkechi Ikbazo. You've been an inspiration to a lot of people in your very quiet, selfless way of doing things. You've touched lives, and we beg God to continue to touch your own life positively. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, it's been a wonderful show, coming all the way to Abia State, incidentally my own state, to speak with our mother here. I find that quite a privilege, and I've also learned a whole lot. It is not by how much you talk, but how much you do. So let's continue to impact on people around us. She started even before she became the wife of a governor or became the first lady. So we can always start somewhere. Nothing is too small to reach out to your neighbor. Don't forget, the program is The Woman, where we showcase women of substance. I'll be with you again next week.